Listen, everybody, to the words I have to say. Better get ready, because the Lord is coming one day.
This is Daniel White III with the Second Coming Watch update. This is update number 336. Let's take a quick look at today's prophecy-related headlines, which point towards the second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ and the end of the world as we know it. First up today, according to the Times of Israel, Major General Amos Yadlin, a former head of IDF Military Intelligence, said that Iran has essentially crossed the red line set by Israel for its nuclear activity, and the coming few months will be a crucial period. Speaking at a security conference in Tel Aviv, Yadlin said that for all intents and purposes, Iran has crossed Israel's red line. In the summer, Iran will be a month or two away from deciding about a bomb. He said that unless there is a drastic increase in international pressure on the Islamic Republic, Iran will continue to expand its nuclear program. Second today, according to Reuters, radioactive gases that could have come from North Korea's nuclear test in February have unexpectedly been detected, possibly providing the first smoking gun evidence of the explosion. The April 9 measurement, almost 2 months after North Korea said it had carried out the underground detonation, gave no indication of whether plutonium or highly enriched uranium was used, it said. The time that had passed before the so-called noble gases were picked up made it very difficult to distinguish between the two fissile materials. Third today, according to Ynet News, a French newspaper reported that Jordan has decided to allow Israel to use its airspace in order to monitor the situation in Syria and even attack the country's chemical facilities if the need arose. The French newspaper's website noted 2 routes to be opened to Israel: a southern route from the Negev and a route via Amman. Opening Jordanian airspace would mean Israel can avoid flying over southern Lebanon. The report has not yet been corroborated by other sources. Fourth, according to the New York Times, 2 Syrian archbishops from Aleppo were abducted while traveling outside that besieged northern city, making them the most senior church clerics to become entangled as victims in the 2-year-old civil war. The government and insurgent groups blamed each other for the abduction of the 2 clerics, the Syrian Orthodox Archbishop John Ibrahim and the Greek Orthodox Archbishop Paul Zazigi. Activists reached by telephone in the Aleppo area said the pair's vehicle had been waylaid in the countryside by armed men who shot their driver. Many of the 2.2 million Christians in Syria believe that their rights will not be protected if the rebels overthrow Assad. Fifth today, according to Reuters, Russia is studying changes to the U.S. missile defense program, but still wants guarantees that the system would not be used against Russia. U.S. and NATO plans to build an anti-missile shield around Western Europe to protect against attack from Iran and North Korea, have been a major irritant in relations with Russia, which fears the system's interceptors could eventually shoot down its own long-range nuclear missiles. The Pentagon said last month it would station additional missile interceptors in Alaska in response to North Korean threats, and at the same time forego a new type of interceptor that would have been deployed in Europe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ said in Matthew 26:64, "Hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven." You can read these stories in more detail and get more prophecy-related news at secondcomingherald.com.